Hi everyone, it's Jupiter. Welcome to today. Excuse me. So today, I'm a little wiggly. I wanted to respond to some comments on a video of ours. We made a video a long time ago called Galaxie Gender, and in it we defined our gender based on how we understood it then, using we defined it without using any male or female terminology. That was really important to us at the time. So we are actually really proud of this video. Still are to this day. It's a great video. It continues to be one of our most watched videos still. And some of the comments we get on it are not very nice. Which, you know, we're on the internet, that's gonna happen. But there's kind of a theme to them. So I wanted to respond to some specific ones that were left recently, like within a year or so. And yeah, just there we go. Gonna jump ahead with that. So also to warn you, it's getting late for me here. It's like almost 8:30. So I'm a little tired, but that's okay. I had all these thoughts spinning, so I just had to go for it. Okay, so comments up on the screen, I hope. Editing self. It says, I'm sorry this is a made-up gender. People do it to make the LGBTQ plus community look like a joke. I'm sorry. If the pronouns are some dumb stuff, then it's not a real gender. I'm non-binary, so that means I go by they, them, which are valid pronouns. I know this was made a long time ago, but still, Galaxie Gender isn't a real thing. And then there's a reply to it that says, well, most people who use these genders use them to cope with trauma. I've also noticed that a lot of people who use the genders are autistic. I think these made-up genders are just coping mechanisms. So, there are two things I want to address, I think. The first is making up genders, and the second is using non-binary genders to cope with trauma. So, a lot of gender comes first. Like you're born with your gender. People can't see it at the time maybe, but that's who you are. You know who you are. People often, you're expressing your gender from a really, really young age. So gender comes before trauma. So that's why it's hard to say it's like I guess I'm addressing the trauma thing first at this point. It's hard to say it's made up by trauma because the trauma came later. And yes, trauma does seem to be more common in the trans community, but that's often because trans people are targeted. Even because we express gender so young, it's easy to see that we're different. And then we are targeted, we are bullied, we are abused, we are mistreated, blah, blah, blah. It's awful. So the reason, some of the reason for the trauma might be because of the way people are reading gender, and then the way those people are responding to the perceived gender difference that they don't even understand. And then because they don't understand it, they treat us really badly. It's not our fault. It's honestly not anything to do with the trans person. It's to do with the transphobic people being traumatic to us. So, yeah, that's what I have to say about that. And then, what was the other thing? My computer keeps going to screensaver. It's not helpful. That people in the LGBTQ plus community make up these genders and make it seem like a joke. And that is just, it's hurtful to write that. because you're disrespecting somebody's experience of the world and experience of themselves, which you have no authority over because it's not your experience, it's theirs. Now again, I know I put myself out on the internet, so people are going to say stuff about us as a being, and so we're not really here to like be upset about that at all. We're not really upset. I hope you can tell. We're just intrigued by the continued, like the pattern, the things that people say. So, people in the non-binary community, it's really hard to assert yourself as non-binary. It's hard to come to understand it because unlike with men and women, you're not taught to be non-binary in our world today. You have to discover it on your own. And often you are highly discouraged from doing anything that deviates from the gender you were assigned at birth. Not often, always. But that's always the case because of the way our society is built right now. So that right away sets it up to make it seem like non-binary people are not real and not to be taken seriously, no matter what their gender happens to be. It sets us up to be not taken seriously because it's not treated as a real gender ever in popular society. It's always treated as it doesn't exist. So to tell someone that their gender is a joke or that it's made up and it makes the community, the LGBTQ plus community, look like a joke, it's just perpetuating that transphobia and the hugely harmful treatment of trans people in general. There's another thing that people don't often understand is that non-binary, while it can be a gender in itself, it's also a gender umbrella in itself, meaning it's any gender that isn't binary. And the binary that it refers to as male and female, which is just two genders. And non-binary means literally any other gender. So whatever you feel your gender to be is your gender, and it's okay to define that however it feels best to you, and it's okay to express that however makes you feel the most in line with your gender, and also sometimes the most safe in the world around you, because as we know, maybe it's not always safe to be expressing yourself as trans. Sometimes we have to mask and hide, unfortunately. But I got sidetracked by masking and hiding. It's always okay to express the gender that you are as a non-binary person. It's important to express it as often as you can to yourself, because that's part of how you love yourself, and you gotta love yourself. So no, it's not a joke. Your gender isn't a joke if you're non-binary, no matter how you define it. If you define it as just the word non-binary, that's okay. If you define it as void gender or, oh my God, I can't think of any other words right now, or flower gender or space gender, like you can, just because the words haven't been invented yet doesn't mean you can't invent the words to express yourself. And just because people don't understand those words yet doesn't mean that it's not valid. You are valid, you are real. Using the words that matter to you is a good thing, and asking those around you to respect those words is also a good thing. Yeah. So it sucks when people don't want to respect your gender or don't want to believe what you have to say about your gender. It can suck in a pretty big way. But I hope that you are still able to hold on to your gender is real, you are valid, and you are allowed to define your gender however seems the best way to define it to you. No one can take that away from you, even if they say shitty things on the internet. So, yeah. That's what I have to say for the night, I guess. We love you, we love you all. We hope you are doing well. And we are really grateful for you all watching our videos and still being part of our channel. So, yeah. If you want to comment and let us know your own thoughts about this stuff, we would love to read your comments and continue the conversation. Please be respectful and kind if you can. It's not actually that hard to be kind. Try it. Yeah. Believe yourself, believe in yourselves, keep living, and we're going to see you really soon.